Play. Low 15.
I think some stats that are normally key are not so key in this match. Like first serve percentage for Berrettini, I don't think it's going to matter that much. I mean, Monfils is renowned for getting balls back in play. He's gonna have some challenges holding serve throughout the course of this match.
15-all.
I think the biggest thing that we're going to have to see within the game as it pans out is how much defense is Monfils going to play, and if he decides to hit the ball, what is Berrettini going to do with that backhand side? Is he going to chip it, or is he going to try and push Monfils around the court?
A lot of eyes on this match back in France, of course. The French tennis fans following Monfils, and Italy too. Berrettini, the first Italian man to make a US Open quarterfinal in 42 years. So how significant it's been for Italian tennis, and only the second in history. Corrado Barazzutti, who is the Davis Cup captain. There's Liam Smith, the man behind Gael Monfils' success this season. Australian coach.
(40-30).
Jaume Campistol, Spaniard, in the chair this afternoon. Second match of the day session. Belinda Bencic from Switzerland is through in the ladies singles. That was another quarterfinal.
Gael Monfils.
A couple of tough days for Swiss tennis with the defeats
First
of
game.
Wawrinka, Federer. You got Monfils as a heavy favourite in this one, Taylor?
I feel that Monfils is going to win in 3 sets, but I think they're going to be long sets. I mean, Monfils is renowned for, you know, the points dragging out, the games dragging out.
It's the Italians team. He works with Vincenzo Santopadre, his longtime coach. Got a quick shot of
Matteo Berrettini to serve.
another Italian coach he works with. A lot of mental strength work with a chap called Stefano Massari as well. He's got a full team in place these days.
15 love.
And one thing I noticed about Berrettini's serve against Rublev is he hits it huge. You know, that one was obviously 134. But his accuracy doesn't get as many aces as I was expecting. Oh, speak of the devil.
30 love.
But in that match with Rublev, Rublev was getting his racket on a ton of balls, but just not really able to put him back in play.
Svitolina was out hitting with Monfils a couple of hours ago on practice court 5.
Let for service.
So it was Gael's birthday a couple of days ago as well. Just turned 33, so it's been a memorable fortnight in many ways for Monfils and Svitolina.
40 love.
Yeah, bases his game around the big serve. 6'5", so he's a big guy, big strong guy. Big forehand as well. And in some ways, Taylor, not your classically Italian player, is he? You know, when we think of some of the Italians who've played maybe in the last 20 or 30 years.
First set.
Yeah, no, Italians love to mix up. You know, we've had some that have just, you know, kind of had a little bit of slower racket head speed, massage the ball around the court, and then you've got, you know, Fabio Fognini, who does a bit of everything out there as well.
Yeah, Fognini still the Italian #1.
I just think it's
15
so
love.
hard in the men's game in modern tennis to do this well without a big serve and a big forehand to kind of back it up.
Ooh. Caught the
13
line
love.
there, that was travelling. No challenge.
Forty love.
And this time off the backhand, painting the lines. Good example of that generation of power the Frenchman can create.
Game
Looks like he's
Monfils.
going to play fairly aggressively, judging by that game.
Monfils leads 2 games
with
to
a
1.
comfortable
First
hold.
set.
He's up 2-1 first set. Years older than his opponent, Monfils, 33 compared to 23. So Berrettini, along with Medvedev, a couple of the younger guys in the quarterfinals. Ranking of number 13. He's been high as 6. His live ranking is actually at number 12 with a win. Could go top 10. That gives you a good idea of how well he's been playing this season when the body has allowed him to. It's been the left ankle that's been causing problems, the withdrawal, Indian Wells. And again, Montreal made the semis there on a really long match against Bautista Agut after a rainy couple of days. Had to play 2 matches in one day. Got through that one, but withdrew from the event before playing his semi-final against Nadal. So again, the body just letting him down. So we've got everything crossed that Monfils can play his best tennis for as long as he's around in New York.
Time.
So 3 holds of serve to kick off this quarterfinal. Just a reminder, the winner of this plays either Nadal or Schwartzman. They do battle later today, the last quarterfinal.
Love 15.
How much does experience play a part in these first few games as well, Taylor? Remember, this guy has never played a match of this magnitude, has he really?
Love
Yeah,
13.
and a lot of it comes down to belief. Like if you believe you belong in this situation, if you believe that you don't have to play perfect tennis to beat Monfils, you know, if those things start to go off, then you can be pretty fragile. And you could say the other thing for Monfils, he's been in this situation how many times? How many more times chances is he going to get? If his body's breaking down, if he feels like, you know, I rely so much on my foot speed, and if I lose that.
15-30.
Second serve was close. I thought Monfils was going to have a look at that.
Yeah, it looked like it. What a time to do it, just to take a peek. Love 30. And Berrettini came to the net a bunch against Rublev when he had opportunities to. Very, very skilled around the net. Now, obviously, with Monfils' defensive capabilities, that will definitely be put to the test. But he will not be shy coming forward. He's going to have to come forward because hitting winners by Monfils to win points is not realistic. The best way to play
30-40.
points against Monfils. So we see a break point here is to move him around the court, open up an opportunity to come forward, take away his time to recover, and then finish it with a volley or an overhead.
So first chance for the Frenchman. Looking to make a nice fast start inside Arthur Ashe Stadium.
Deuce.
Big serve, 130. That's a nice combination. That had to be good because we know how fast Monfils is.
Advantage Berrettini. Deuce.
I don't know what happened to the spacing on that one, but certainly misjudged the spin, took a funky bounce.
That's huge.
Advantage Berrettini.
136. That first serve, getting bigger. It's a local restaurant owner who's been supporting the Italians the last few days. Giovanni Bartocci, who owns an Italian restaurant over in Manhattan, been entertaining some of the players the last few days.
Game Berrettini.
That's a good hold. Really good to come through that early test. There he is.
2 games all, first set.
He's on social media with Felix Auger-Aliassime and Berrettini. A few days ago, he's been eating at his place, fueling up on some traditional Italian food. A reminder to go to the official tournament website, usopen.org.
15 love.
For live scores, stats, schedules, all the draws, player news, interviews throughout the remainder of the tournament, of course, through to Sunday.
30 love.
Monfils is certainly testing out the Berrettini forehand. He's directing a lot of shots that way. Doesn't look like he's in too much of a rush to work on the Berrettini backhand.
Correction was out. We play the point.
Berrettini just making an appeal, saying, did that call really affect Monfils' shot?
30-15. Monfils
so good at soaking up the power.
40-30.
He's been a semi-finalist here before, Gael Monfils, back in 2016, one of his best seasons. He made the year-end championships, the Nitto ATP finals. So made the semis of the French as well on home soil. 2008 made the last 4 in Paris.
Gael Monfils.
It's a big serve to finish the job. And it's been a competitive
Monfils leads
opening
3 games to 2,
5 games
first set.
so far. The Frenchman sits down with a 3-2 lead.
Umbrella.
Time.
So it's been Monfils with the early opportunity, just a single break point. No breakthroughs as yet, though. Berrettini's done a good job of sticking with the Frenchman in his first Grand Slam quarterfinal so far. Italian made the 4th round of Wimbledon. Some good tennis there before running into Roger Federer, and I think a few people thought that might be more competitive given the tennis Berrettini had played in the run-up to the All England Club tournament. 6-1, 6-2, 6-2 that day. Trying to use the lessons he learned on that occasion.
$15 all.
Comes from Rome, so has the bonus of a Masters 1000 event in his own backyard. And his biggest win in Rome earlier this season against Sasha Zverev, then the world number 5 on the main court there in Rome.
$30-15.
That was really good discipline, that point from Berrettini. He's able to really keep those backhands deep, cross court, close to the sideline, close to the baseline. Just make sure he's not going to do a whole bunch of damage off that backhand, Berrettini, so you just got to stay out of trouble.
Looked like Corrado Barzuti under that great baseball club, the Italian Davis Cup captain.
40-15.
Berrettini has said helps him almost on a daily basis as well. Interesting, he's been in touch with Adriano Panetta as well. Panetta, one of the heroes of Italian tennis, 70s.
40-13.
Really cagey play from Monfils. You know, when I was on tour, I hit a bunch of slices off my backhand side, and this little play right here is a nightmare. If you're willing to see that opponent hit a chip backhand, sneak forward, and look at how close Monfils was able to close to the net. Very vulnerable on that side.
Deuce.
Berrettini is not immune to nerves. He got broken serving for the match against Rublev, and the way the break happened was, you know, definitely was not able to control the nerves in that game.
Advantage Berrettini.
It always helps. The big first serve free points.
A wonderful angle, and again we see the speed of Monfils just forcing him to play another ball.
Deuce.
That was an incredible angle Berrettini hit off of the forehand. This one right there, unbelievable. Just needed to take it early, played up the line, but that little drop shot back cross court worked earlier. I don't know how much I would like to rely on that play to win gimme points. That's what that was for Berrettini, was a gimme point.
Advantage Monfils.
Monfils just happy to sit deep, soak up the Italians' pressure, and wait for him just to go for a little bit too much, and it's worked a treat there. Second break points of this opening set. He's got the break. And a bit of volume from Monfils as well.
Monfils leads 4-2.
Struck the net. 4-2. It's been solid so far from Monfils. We've seen the spectacular from him. Have a look at Zutti,
15
mentioned earlier, was the other Italian man to make it through to this stage of the US Open. 1977 that was, made the semis in fact.
Let second service.
The most incredible match point from Monfils against Marius Copil from Romania. 360 slam dunk on match points, and some shot making that had to be seen to be believed against Shapovalov.
Gael Monfils.
Looking good so far.
Please.
Preserves the lead.
Monfils leads 5 games to 2.
25 minutes,
First set.
5-2.
Time.
And a huge crowd inside Arthur Ashe Stadium midway through week 2. We're at the final Grand Slam of the season. Berrettini serving to stay in this first set, 2-5.
Let for service. Monfils is challenging the call on the right baseline. The ball was called in.
Glance, should I say, from Monfils towards the line judge. There will be a chase review. Yeah, it's a good challenge. Just
Low 15.
I don't think there's many players on tour that could do what Monfils is doing to give Berrettini trouble in his service games, and that's just letting him have his strength, just saying, fine, let's see how your strength compares to my defensive abilities. And, you know, so far, I mean, this is not looking good for Berrettini.
15-13.
I don't know how else he's going to be winning points if he's getting all the forehands that he wants to get, and he's, you know, coming out on the losing end holding serve. You know, his breaking of serve for his career is only at 18%. So he desperately needs to run through these service games with big serves and big forehands.
Thirty all. Berrettini is challenging the call on the left far sideline. The ball was called in.
Well, it was close. Again, we'll go to the chase review.
We're going to say out on this one.
(40-30).
It's a good call, Taylor Dent. We're almost in the clouds up here. Well, that's a good hold. You never know. Try and force the other guy to serve this out.
Monfils leads 5-3, first set.
He's got to keep the belief high today, the confidence flowing. Monfils serving for this first set after exactly half an hour. Well, that's tough, isn't it? Because he's changed things up. He's trying to come forward. He's hit a decent approach, and he's still lost the point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he could play that point much better. He had a really good return, got Monfils out of the court, took the next ball early, come forward.
It's funny, isn't it? Because we all associate Monfils with that spectacular brand of tennis. All the hot shots we see online, all the highlights, but actually it's his defense in some ways that... assuming makes him so tough to beat.
Yeah, his defense is a problem. You know, his defense is a problem, and he's got the patience and the shot tolerance to stay out there and have 30-ball rallies. And we've seen that before.
3 set points.
I think that to come in on Monfils, it has to be you have to put him out of the court. You can't hit down the line too much to come in, just because he's 2 steps back to the center. He's got such long steps that he just, you know, he can turn a point around and recover really quickly.
I mean, that's just incredible power off the backhand wing. He'll be delighted with that opening set. He's taken it 6-3. It's an ominous set of tennis for me if you're Matteo Berrettini, and that last point's a good example, isn't he? He can hurt you off the backhand as well.
No, there's nothing he can't do. You know, he can do a bit of everything, and he tends to rely a lot on his defensive prowess. I think he just enjoys playing those points a lot more. But you leave a ball hanging, he can absolutely unload on the forehand and the backhand side. And you see from Monfils a pretty balanced set, just 8 winners, 8 unforced errors. Just played a very, very clean match. He had a couple of chances to break. Returns in play, I would expect that number to even increase for Monfils, to be honest with you. 53% is not a high number for him. That should be probably up in the 70% range for Monfils. But the biggest game was that forehand, the game he got broken. He had forehands that whole game, and just his forehand wasn't good enough to hurt Monfils.
Too far off 24,000 capacity, this place.
Time.
It's been rocking the last few days. Some huge results. All eyes on Flushing Meadows. This final Grand Slam of the season. The departure of Novak Djokovic, the defending champion, the world #1. That was 2 or 3 days ago. Defeat Roger Federer last night. Dimitrov and Medvedev into the semi-finals in the top half. Not many people would have called that the start of the week.
Second set. Berrettini to serve.
It's going to be an intriguing final few days here in New York. Don't think we saw the run of Grigor Dimitrov around the corner, did we, a few weeks ago?
He has just had some incredible ups and downs throughout the course of his career. You know, sometimes getting top 10 in the world and then just goes on a bad run. Now he's on a good run. It's just very, very up and down.
Equally incredible how Medvedev's body's holding together.
That's a great point. I mean, you saw him taped up in the match against Wawrinka, and rightfully so. He's played so much tennis just over the hardcourt season alone.
Oh.
15-13.
What a return of serve. Disappeared in a flash.
You can see where Berrettini's balls are landing. They're landing kind of middle of the half and very deep. And for someone that plays as far back as Monfils does, you really have to utilize the angles, getting the balls to land close to the sideline tees.
This could be a big moment. 2 more chances for Monfils. Shake of the head from Berrettini after that previous point. Just starting to run out of ideas already. Oh dear.
Gael Monfils.
Double fault this time, and he hands over the break of serve.
First game, second set.
And the Frenchman in control. Well, the worst possible start to the second set for Matteo Berrettini, the best possible start for Monfils. And in truth, it's been fairly comfortable so far for the Frenchman, hasn't it?
Well, again, when he wins his matches, you know, and the guy's just donating mistakes, which Berrettini is already up at 16 for the match. 2 unforced errors in that first game. It's just Monfils doesn't have to take much risk. He can just rely on his legs, get the ball back in play.
Low 15.
I mentioned the 2 previous Grand Slam semi-finals that Monfils has reached. 2008, that one was a while ago. Lost to Federer in that semi-final, Roland Garros in 4 sets. And when he made the semis here 3 years ago, 2016, lost to Djokovic in 4 sets.
Correction was good, first service.
I think the biggest danger for Monfils right now is just go about your business, do your thing. Let's not worry about exciting the crowd too much, as we've seen that temptation that seeps into his game has cost him matches in the past.
Case in point, Taylor, that match against Shapovalov, he was up 2 sets to 1, 4-1, double break, and he finds himself in a 5th set. You know, all of a sudden it's a shootout. He had that match totally in control, just took his mind off the job for a couple of minutes, and at this level, it can cost you.
(40-15).
Done for Alina. She has the semi-finals to look forward to. Beat Jo Konta in the last 8 straight sets yesterday.
I thought you meant job done. She warmed him up well. You know, now it's not her fault.
Gael Monfils.
Talked about the sort of mutual benefits of spending time.
Monfils leads 2 games to love. Second set.
One another on and off courts. Svitolina's been asked a lot about the benefits of hitting with Monfils in these past 2 weeks. You know, having a practice partner is hitting a heavy ball. She says yes, has helped. Seems to have relaxed her a little bit around the tournament and maybe given Monfils a slightly more professional approach. That's been the one of the storylines.
Low 15.
I'd say that's the biggest problem playing Monfils right there. Berrettini was barely missing those against Rublev, but just the threat of Monfils running over there and doing something with the passing shot makes you go for that little bit extra, that little bit more. It's the biggest problem. It's like serving against Djokovic.
That was huge.
15-all.
And this just looks like Berrettini's answer to the situation is just hit the ball bigger, more through the court. Hear that forehand speed was 102 miles an hour.
I mean, that is a monster, isn't it? But I'm not sure he can do that for best part of 2 or 3 hours.
The on the right
Trying to hit through anybody at this level is really tough, and that's what we talked about. That's why hitting the sides of the court is so important, and planning on finishing points with a volley.
30-15.
Chase review confirming that's
Monfils
good.
has 2 challenges remaining.
It's got to come through this game, you would imagine. Can't afford to go double break down in this second set. Oh, yes. Bit of Monfils magic.
And this is the change of gears that Monfils brings to the table. Just sees a slight opening. I'm sure he sees those all the time and just picks them as he likes.
Again, it's that ability to sit deep, change of direction, forcing the Italian to go for too much. Yet another break point. His 4th of the match. He's converted 2 of 3 so far.
That's a much better approach from Berrettini. Shorter approach, not close to the baseline, and much wider. That was within a foot of the sideline. That's how we want to be coming in.
Italian's team a little happier with that play. He's crushed that one.
Advantage Berrettini.
Monfils just testing out the moon ball, seeing how effective that is against Berrettini.
Game Berrettini.
I think it's just caught the line. He's done well there. That was a game he had to win.
Monfils leads 2-1, second set.
Just
by
about
1 set to
stays
love.
in touch. 2-1, second set. Whatever happens this afternoon for the Italian, it's been a very, very successful year. 25 in the world. He's been top 20. was in late June. It's a live ranking where points accumulated at this tournament are taken into consideration. The points coming off that he earned 12 months previous. It's a rolling 12-month ranking. Is 17, so it'll be good for a career high ranking regardless of the result today. Once the new lists come out next Monday, and he can find a way back into this and win it, then he's not too far outside the top 10. He'd be 13 there or thereabouts going into the semis. So definitely moving in the right direction in terms of the career. Just 23 years of age, so we'll enjoy a fair bit of good tennis from this guy over the next few years. The glorious sunshine of yesterday, but still good conditions for the players. There's a chance of a bit of rain today, but thankfully hasn't arrived as yet. We'll keep our fingers crossed. Cloud cover at the moment. Monfils with the break, 2-1.
Let's second service. Low 15. Low 30.
Hasn't created a break point as yet, Berrettini. It's just a loose game, isn't it?
Super loose game. I mean, even the first point where Berrettini hit all those shots, the backhand he missed was very comfortable.
So 3 chances for the world number 25. Get back on level terms.
Well, and this is just what we talked about with Monfils, right? And this is where Berrettini, throughout the course of this match, can never hit the panic button, because you never know when Monfils is going to have that dip in level, and he lets you right back in the match.
It was a nice move forward, but it made a real mess of the volley.
2 games all, second set.
And that came out of nowhere, really, and Berrettini didn't have to do very much at all to get the break back. USOpen.org is the official tournament website. Remember, you can download the US Open app as well for all the latest scores, stats, highlights, player news, celebrity sightings, and much more. Head to the App Store or the Google Play Store to download the official US Open app. I guess, Taylor, that's another element of a 5-set match, right, as well. So, you know, if you do go down a set, still a lot of work for Monfils to do.
That's why it's so much tougher to beat the best players in the world in those 3 out of 5 set matches. Just more work on the table.
15 all.
This is where he really needs to knuckle down and produce a rock-solid game on serve. Try and hang on to this momentum he's built.
30-15. All.
Oh.
30-14.
Then that drop shot, the shank forehand, that easy backhand right there. A couple of loose games from both these guys out of nowhere. The level was relatively high. Berrettini did have a bunch of unforced errors, but it's because Monfils was tracking down a ton of shots.
Let for service. Deuce.
Gets himself out of trouble with a 123 mile-an-hour delivery. Averaging 9 miles an hour faster than the Frenchman on that first serve.
Advantage Monfils.
Well, a familiar story. Monfils 2-3 meters behind the baseline. Just soaking it up. 22nd unforced error from the Italian. Another chance for Monfils.
Let for service.
Monfils just collided with a bit of court furniture there. He was so deep in the court. Just caught it on the microphone, didn't we? The chase. Little placard that sits in front of the line judge. You've got to be careful with those, haven't you? It was Kokonakis, wasn't it? Monte Carlo, where he landed on. They have foam ones in Monte Carlo, and he landed on the foam object in front of the lines judge, deep in the court. He injured his knee. he's okay. It's been that left ankle that's caused problems on and off this season.
Advantage,
That's pretty good
Monfils.
defense. Monfils has been doing that a lot on defense, and defending with angles like that can be very dangerous if your opponent is stepping inside the baseline and cutting that off. You just invite them to take time away from you, the defender. But if Berrettini's just going to run to the side, that works out very well for Monfils.
Another chance in this 5th game of the 2nd set. Oh, that's nice. He's done a string there.
Deuce.
Well, he did too. Must have done on the serve. What unbelievable timing for that short return.
I mean, that is tough to do, isn't it? Explain what happens to the string bed when a string
Yeah,
goes.
you just lose a lot of tension, obviously, and so that makes hitting anything topspin very difficult. The ball is very likely to fly on you, and that's why you'll see when people break strings, they'll go to a continental grip and just start slicing the ball, just try and poke it back in play. So that's why that return that landed so short and allowed him, actually it required him to hit a slice ball and then be at the net for a volley was very fortunate. Break point down too.
Almost 8 minutes. Service game.
Game Berrettini.
Wriggles out.
Berrettini leads 3 games to 2, 2nd set.
5th
First set,
game.
Monfils.
And he's got his nose in front. 3-2. Slightly different feel to this 2nd set now. Monfils up 7-2 love. Chances for the double break. They slipped away. Loose game on serve. He's missed chances in that 5th game as well. So perhaps mentally the Frenchman will. It's a different kind of feeling as he's in his courtside chair now.
Time.
Well, the Italian fans in the house and back in Rome will perhaps just be sitting up and hoping that this is a bit of a resurgence from their boy.
Love 15.
Italy in the Davis Cup finals, the new look Davis Cup finals. Berrettini will lead them as captain. Pretty sure Berrettini will be part of that squad. Fanini's had a great year, of course. Monte Carlo champion, broke into the top 10 for the first time. Lorenzo Sonego playing some good ball. Seppi hanging around. It's good times for Italian men's tennis of late.
15-30.
Cecchinato, of course, Roland Garros semi-finalist last year. It's a lovely combination.
It's amazing what a little bit of belief will do for you as a player. When we saw Berrettini at his worst in this match, he was just overplaying, saying, looking like he doesn't know what to do. Now he looks a lot more controlled. His aggression looks a lot more composed, a lot more patient, bringing up 2 break points.
Led for service.
Looking for his 4th game in a row. Remember, he was 2-love down in this second set. First one saved. Monfils just started to look a little laboured between the points. He was feeling the heat, or is maybe not just feeling 100%.
Yeah, something could be going on, but I've seen Monfils play entire matches like that, 5-set matches, where it looks like he's dying in between the points and then coming out fresh.
Yeah, he fooled me 2 or 3 times in Montreal a couple of weeks ago. I haven't learned my lesson.
Yeah.
Bent double after a
advantage Berrettini.
Relatively lengthy exchange, nothing too long. Sure, he's got one eye on that serve clock, but it's down to 5 seconds. I think it was stopped by the chair umpire on that occasion. Break point.
Deuce.
The direct sunlight, but it's still pretty humid, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the problem is it's not more humid than normal, but it's more humid than it has been.
Advantage Monfils.
We saw that last year a little bit, the week before the tournament. The qualies week was very pleasant, very nice, and then boom, get into the tournament and it was just stifling and players were dropping like flies.
It was very slow into that forehand. Again, the shot clock, the serve clock down to 10 seconds. It was just using that time. to his advantage. I guess that's
Advantage,
the positive, isn't
Monfils.
it? Some players feel rushed, but you can use that clock.
Yep.
Just to get the heart rate back down.
Gael Monfils.
It comes through a fairly long game. Berrettini
3
with
games all,
chances.
second set.
Interesting phase of this match right now.
No, it is. And, you know, as a player, if I'm Berrettini and watching Monfils do all that between the points, you let the points do the talking. That's your biggest source of input. I've had players I've been playing against, and they look like they're, you know, crawling on the ground in between points, and then they're flying around like nothing's happening. So you can't let what's going on in between the points distract you. And what's equally interesting about that too is you also have to factor in what point was just played. To see somebody kind of look hurt or dog it on a 40 love point or a love 40 point, you know, kind of a more meaningless point, you got to factor that into the equation as well.
Love 30.
My weather information at the moment, although it tends to differ from whatever app you fire up, doesn't it? But
yeah, that is true.
Kind of mid-80s, that seems to be the range at the moment. Humidity sort of high 50% or so, 50 towards 60%, which is uncomfortable. Anything over 50, right?
Well, it's higher than what we've had. We've had it in the 30s. You could just feel a difference today kind of walking around outside. It was just felt a little thicker.
All.
Is that the elements of conditions that we tend to talk about that can be the most destructive for a tennis player if you don't keep an eye on it and look after the body, the humidity?
I'd say yes, with a couple of exceptions. Way to finish that point up
40,
the net.
30.
I'd say yes, because that's what players encounter probably the most on tour is just a high humid, you know, atmosphere. But I tell you what, I've played some matches at the Australian Open when it hasn't been humid and the heat is coming from the inland and it's so hot and so dry, the heat is inescapable. It doesn't even matter if you're in the shade.
Deuce.
The approach before that, why the other point looks so easy and that one didn't feel quite as good is because of how Berrettini came in. He came in when Monfils was off the court closer to the doubles alley, outside the doubles alley. That one, Monfils' position was very good, so Berrettini had to go for more on that volley, make it more precise. Your success at net
Berrettini.
has a very strong correlation with how well you do on your approach shots, getting your opponent outside the doubles alleys, towards the doubles alleys.
Gael Berrettini.
Another big hold and a
New
big
balls,
serve
please.
to seal it.
Berrettini leads
7
4 games to
thirds.
3, second set.
Yeah, he's up 4
First
games
set,
to 3.
Monfils.
Right on cue, table dance. There seems to be a conversation between Berrettini and the chair umpire about the state of his socks and shoes there.
Yeah, he was asking for more time on the changeover to change his socks and shoes because he's sweating so much. He stomped his foot down and he said water's coming out and it's causing me to slip. And I actually experienced that as well playing here at the US Open. I used to have to pack multiple pairs of shoes, sets of shoes. You can see him trying to dry everything off.
That stage of the season, we often see it during the US Open Series, the North American hard course. That is brutal. Winston-Salem conditions down there as well. Washington, go on court with a bunch of shirts, spare shorts, socks, shoes, the lot.
It's an interesting thing, isn't it? Asking for a timeout, is this fair to Monfils that Berrettini gets this extra time to change his shoes and socks, all sort of stuff? And in fairness to Berrettini, he couldn't play with the shoes and socks, giving out that much water, that much sweat every time he stepped.
Yeah, this is an interesting one, isn't it? Because if Monfils is feeling okay, who knows how he's feeling? Wet his shoes and socks, or the kid might be, but he might say, well, look, I'm dealing with these conditions better than you, so why should we stop?
Exactly. You could make the argument for a conditioning aspect. Now, sweat has nothing to do with conditioning. People just sweat differently, but there could be an argument made for that.
There's a racket coming back for the Italian as well. I'll spin back to the stringers on site. Certainly a much more competitive set, isn't it, in his first set? He's worked his way into this contest, settled down. So an extended sit down, don't see that too often.
And before Monfils' serve, too. That was almost the equivalent of a bathroom break in the middle of the set, which is a no-no these days.
Love.
Just over 3.5 minutes that change of ends due to the kit change. Of course, we do have a heat rule, don't we, here at the US Open as well, which came into operation during the qualifying tournament. A week before the main draw got underway. It was very hot and humid that week.
(15-30). (15-40).
Another loose game. Looks like easy forehand miss and then a double fault.
Yeah, whether it's a result of how Monfils is feeling, lack of confidence, loss of concentration, whatever it is, 2 break points. Maybe the extended break is sometimes tough to deal with, and as you say, Taylor, when you've got to come out and serve.
It just adds an extra little element, you know, something to think about.
Let for service. Deuce. Advantage Berrettini.
Fifth double faults for Monfils, 4th of this second set. Third chance for Berrettini. The Italian who breaks through, and he's got a little more energy in his game right now.
Berrettini leads 5-3, second set.
Monfils is approaching a chair. Just wonder whether he's going to request something there, but no. Just a new string job. What a turnaround in this second set. Monfils set and 2 love, remember, and he wasn't too far away from set and double break, and you're thinking this is going to get done pretty quickly.
Yeah, it did not look good for Berrettini. 6-3, 2 love, Monfils.
Love.
He's getting a lot of positive energy from his team, Berrettini, right now. Down his end of the courts, just behind his right shoulder.
Love. There
we go, another fist pump. And it's a different story for Monfils, isn't he? Just looks flat and very little evidence of that kind of electricity we sometimes see from the Frenchman. Can't fool you though, and just suddenly come to life.
Love.
He's had enough of this second set. Three set points for the Italian.
Game
But he
second
seals
set,
it
Berrettini.
with ace number 9.
6 games to 3, 1 set all.
And it's a very different story now inside Arthur Ashe Stadium. Set to piece, game on. Well, you've got to think, Taylor, this is anyone's right now.
Yeah, crazy match. After that, after the middle of the second set, you know, the game that Monfils gave the break back was, I think it was like 3 or 4 unforced errors just in that one game alone. And they were routine, easy shots. Berrettini did a much better job with the winners. You know, he still had quite a few unforced errors. He had 14 in the first set, down to 11 there. But the winners did much better job, 7. And how he got that was he started playing more wide. How many more shots did we see him hit through the sidelines instead of through the baseline? And Monfils, just with those 14 unforced, he had 8 in the first set and the same amount of winners. But just the energy definitely looks weird. Just it looks like a very Monfils match.
Well, who knows? It's going to be Matteo Berrettini or Gael Monfils who moves into the semi-finals here at the US Open. What an opportunity for these two guys. You have to say it's the Italian who has the momentum, who has an extra skip in his step right now. It's going to be fascinating to see what Monfils brings to this third set. Whether he's fooling us all, the tank is full, half full. The needle's on red.
Third set. Monfils to serve.
Well, and I think the needle could be on red. You know, it definitely could be, but Monfils is so emotional that just one point that kind of gets the crowd on fire, gets him excited. I mean, he just seems to get energy back so quickly.
Let for service.
Yeah, and the irony, isn't it, that he's been talking about that throughout his journey in this tournament, how much he loves playing in New York. In a match against Shapovalov, that's kind of his perfect scenario, isn't it? You've got another guy who likes to feed off the crowd, incredible atmosphere, loads of passion. Whereas this afternoon, it's a different story, and he hasn't. He hasn't so far been able to forge that kind of relationship with the crowd.
Yeah, they haven't had that many spectacular points, have they? There's been some big hitting, but the spectacular points are the cat and mouse ones where both players are up at net.
Well,
40 love.
He thought that was well long, hence the floated forehand, which completely caught Berrettini off guard.
Game Monfils. First game, third set.
Well, we did get confirmation from the crowd and from Hawkeye that the shot was in fact out.
So if you're in Berrettini's corner, Taylor, you're saying, don't be sucked into
scared.
this. Don't be fooled.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. Just seen it all too many times. And the coaches in his corner, they've been out on tour forever, so they are very familiar with this. And Berrettini's just not got to. He's just got to stay focused, not let himself get too excited about this opportunity. Just what has he done differently from the first to the second set? that's in his control. Obviously, Monfils' level's dropped a little bit, but he's used width a lot more. He hasn't tried to just blast shots through Monfils, through the baseline.
15 love.
Fascinating, wouldn't it, if you could sort of stop these guys now and have a chat to Berrettini, because he's never played Monfils before. So, you know, is he out there going, what on earth is going on? Or
he's seen him play so much. It's very different being in that than watching it from an outsider's perspective versus playing against it.
$30-15.
Because the other challenge sometimes when you're maybe competing against a guy who is a little flat, it kind of brings you down as well, doesn't it, sometimes? Difficult to keep your emotional energy high. So you get sucked into same kind of vibe sometimes.
With how emotional Berrettini's box is, I find that's probably not going to be the case out here today. They are just so pumped. They're looking at him. They're standing up all the time, yelling out all the time. In fact, I think earlier on in the match, Monfils looked back at him and just gave him a little business.
Gael Berrettini. 1 game all, third set.
So set all, 1-all.
Low 15. $15-all.
His previous opponent, Alexei Popperin, the young Aussie, was talking about how heavy that forehand is. There's a lot of work on the ball.
30-15. $30-all.
So double fault, missed forehand, half chance here for Berrettini.
$30-40.
Wants confirmation from the chair umpire, but it has missed.
We hear from Hawkeye that it was in fact wide.
First chance of this third set falls the Italians' way.
Gael Berrettini.
Hooked the backhand wide, and the Italian keeps things moving in the right
Berrettini
direction.
leads 2 games to 1. Third set, 1 set all. Time.
Keeping one eye on those clouds. Just moving slowly over the borough of Queens. Actually, the delay is here.
About the lights.
Too dark, would you say? It's got a little cloudier in the last 5 or 10 minutes. It is a little gloomier. I think Monfils wants some floodlight action here.
The lights together. Or you can do it like no. I asked the referee before, and he said it's gonna see if it's a cloud or if it just stays like this. Because it's a bit dark now. Okay? So but if I'm not agree, you can switch on the lights anyway. Right? Even if I'm not agree, you can want the light on. No, I'm asking. If I'm not agree, it's more a decision of me and the supervisor as well. Okay? Checking how long it's going to be the cloud.
Well, a slightly peculiar couple of minutes. We're expecting the regular change of end, and Monfils stayed in his seat. He wanted the lights on. Berrettini was confused, and we're witnessing another twist in the story here, Taylor Dent.
Tell you what, whenever you're down, it's always a good thing to just kind of look for something to change the dynamic of the match.
Well, it took Berrettini by surprise, didn't it?
It did. And he's like, what if I don't agree?
But he's just
15
broken,
love.
so he wants to get out there and keep going.
Yeah, I think by what he was saying on that change of ends, he was more concerned with how long it was going to take the lights to be turned on. He was worried about the time between this game.
Chair umpire spoke to the supervisors. The lights are now on, incidentally, so we're good to go. It's interesting.
15 all.
Isn't it? There's so many different dynamics for a young player like Matteo Berrettini on a day like this. He's playing his first Grand Slam quarterfinal. He's got Monfils to manage. Monfils' mood swings and energy ebbs and flows. Now the light situation. It's all new to him, isn't it?
Well, it is new to a certain extent. It's new with this many people watching, with this much money on the line, with this many points on the line. I think that's the biggest reason why you compete when you're young. I mean, you can improve without playing a single tournament, but you can't expose yourself to all these random events. Really nice placement again.
30-15.
He's made a very good adjustment on that forehand side. He looked so ineffective in the first set in 2 games off the forehand. Really shortened up his targets, made him a lot wider, and that is how you be effective with an offensive shot against somebody playing so deep in the court. The juniors I work with, they're exposed to so many things, rain delays, the pressure of who you're playing, getting bad line calls, getting somebody cheering at inappropriate times. And I think that's the biggest reason to play junior tournaments is to build a skin for what happens.
Game Berrettini.
That's a good hold in the circumstances. Stayed focused.
Berrettini leads 3-1, third set.
So really bang on about mental strength so often. So important in this sport. USOpen.org is the official tournament website. You can follow us on social media, of course, as well. Stay connected to the US Open on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Join the conversation with hashtag US Open.
Berrettini is challenging the call on the right far sideline. The ball was called out.
Yeah, just a
15 love.
smidgen wide. Found by the chase review. Just to keep pressing here. Presumably as a player, Taylor, I was just trying to top up the games there from a second 2-love down. My man
Berrettini has 2 challenges remaining.
Games, so I guess as a player you're aware of that, aren't you? And you're in this sort of phase of the match where you can almost get this done.
Led for service.
Yeah, you're certainly, if you don't know, you know, I've won X amount of games out of that, you'd certainly know that you're on a good run. Again, that brings up the point of mental toughness, which you talked about a minute ago. Is, you know, mental toughness is just not being distracted. You know, that's pretty much all it is. Is Berrettini going to get distracted by the lights? Is he going to get distracted by being up? Is he going to get distracted by the fact that this is the quarterfinals of the Grand Slam? Is he going to get distracted by the fact that there's about 20,000 people watching him play live? You know, these are all distractions, and people have their breaking point.
40-30.
And you just never know where that was. I tell you what, Berrettini's breaking point last match was serving for the match, up 6-5. He got broken that game. And it was a bad game, but he recovered from that.
Is huge from the Italian.
Deuce.
One of his biggest.
And he does not look distracted at all. Even if he would have missed this last forehand, this monster forehand down the line, he played that point so well. You understand that forehand was 104 miles an hour.
Advantage, Monfils.
He's smacking on his head, but again, that's another quality point from Berrettini. When I'm watching matches, you know, or whether it's this level or junior level, it's not, you can tell somebody's distracted by the quality of points they're playing, not where they win or lose them.
Game Monfils.
Monfils hangs tough for now.
Berrettini leads 3-2. Third set, 1-0.
He's up 3-2.
Time.
Nicely poised. This one set a piece. 3-2 second set. Third set, should I say. Berrettini has the advantage. Has the break.
Love 15.
Mental strength last couple of days, Berrettini. That's an area he feels has improved the most over the last year or so. Winning matches that he thinks perhaps he wouldn't have maybe 12 months previous. It's going to be tested today.
Well, and
15 all.
I talk to a lot of my students about improving. I feel there's 4 major areas to improve. One is, and 2 happen very slow and 2 happen very fast. The slow areas are skill, your skill of hitting a shot. That takes months to years to drastically improve that. And your physical fitness, that takes months to years. Huge time investment in improving your skill and your athleticism around the court. The 2 areas
15,
that
30.
happen really quickly can happen overnight is your mental toughness. You see some weather potentially coming over. If you learn how to focus well and what to focus on, that can happen overnight. And then also your tactics. If you're playing a low percentage style of game and you decide to change your tactics, that can happen overnight. Like this tactic that we're seeing, right? Basically, what we saw from Berrettini was he was trying to overpower Monfils and just hit through him, hit through him, hit through him. And what changed the match around quite a bit, Monfils dropping play, but Berrettini going wider with his attacking. And that's just a tactical change. He didn't increase any skill.
$30-40.
So is this contest about to swing back the way of the Frenchman? His team are hoping so.
Deuce.
Well, that'll do it. 121 into the corner. Ace saving the day.
Left for service. Advantage Berrettini.
That's massive. 137 miles an hour up the tee. That's a big hold. Fabulous serving under pressure.
Berrettini leads 4 games to 2, third set.
Is that the signal to close the roof, perhaps? So you can only assume that.
Ladies and gentlemen, due to the weather conditions, the road is going to be closed.
Difficult to see from our position, or whether they know that it's imminent. The roof will be closing now. Goodness me, all sorts for Berrettini to deal with in this set. We've had the extended sit down for the change of shoes and socks. We've had the lights coming on. Now the roof closing. Testing that mental strength, aren't they?
That's right. Well, hey. If he's bragging about it in the press conference, we got to put it to the test.
It's very interesting what you go back to, Taylor, actually, when you talked about those 4 elements, because I think, for me, one of those is that willingness of a student to learn as well. It's got to be open-minded.
For sure. I mean, and that's where things won't change. Like if a student needs to change something on their forehand, right, and they're just unwilling to, well, then the skill is going to stay roughly where it is. It'll get better over time just because you're hitting balls, but the level cap on certain shots are just simply there. You know what I mean? And you have to end up working around it.
So yeah, we can see there's a little bit of rain falling. It doesn't take too long for the roof to close here, because it's warm, so the court should dry fairly quickly. And interesting, going back to that point, because I was reading this morning, actually reading a very interesting piece, an interview with the guy who's been doing some mental work with a chap called Stefano Massari, and he's been getting him to read more. There's a couple of American authors, he said, Edward Bunker, Charles Bukowski, even some Ernest Hemingway. And his theory is that I want to encourage a love of knowledge from a young player, and that then it will encourage him to embrace that in his tennis, that sort of ability to learn new things and an open-mindedness.
Well, then losses become less hard. You know what I mean? When you can suffer a loss, you take a step back and you analyze, you say, okay, what did I learn from that? Where does my game need to go from here? And let's try to not lose for the same reason again. You know, like Wawrinka's tattoo. I'm going to butcher it verbatim what it says, but it basically says, fail better next time. You know what I mean? And that's kind of the essence, in my opinion, of being a great player, being a champion, is you're gonna fail, but can you fail a little bit better next time, or fail for a different reason? Like that's one of the things that kills me when I watch matches and it's the same match from start to finish. And it's like, well, you know, if you're losing, let's just lose for a different reason. You know, we're there anyway. You know, let's see if we can mix it up somehow.
It's even more relevant in an individual sport, because you can, and that going back to mental toughness, isn't it? I guess if you're a soccer player, you've got another 10 guys around you. You can have an off day and the team can still win, but you're so exposed as an individual in these.
You really are. You're 100% right. And tennis players are just on an island out there, and you know, the best you can get from the corner is, you know, some claps and some cheers, but you have to do the major problem solving out there. Even if coaching was allowed, you know, there's not a whole lot you can do. I mean, you know, Monfils has more choices than most. But even then, it's like, well, shoot, if Berrettini is going to be hitting these forehands wide and making me run, and I'm starting to lose control of this match, now I'm forced to play aggressive. If he's not executing well, playing offense, then the options start to get pretty ugly.
I wonder, in a couple of hours, maybe 3 hours time, when these guys are sitting in media post-match, whether this break in play will proven to be a key stage of this match. You sometimes see it, don't you? You get a rain break and player loses momentum, the other guy comes back with a bit of extra belief and energy.
Well, that's what we talked about when Monfils was actually asking for the lights. I mean, you never know where a player's mental breaking point is, what's going to distract them, and that's why when you are losing, I mean, you know, little types of gamesmanship happens out there. You know, Carl, I mean, who did it all the time? John McEnroe. He did it all the time. When he was losing, he would argue a call for the sake of arguing a call. You know, he didn't even believe that he was right in the circumstance a lot of times. It's just, let's change the dynamic. Let's change the momentum. I had a story from Elliot Telcher, former American player, foreign in the world. He coached me for a couple of years. And he said there was a match where he was losing. and he just was playing so bad, and he asked for all the balls on the court and hit them all out of the stadium just to change the dynamic in the match, you know. And I'm not saying, you know, you condone that, you do that, but it's just, I mean, you're competing out there and you're trying to find a way.
Won't be too long now before that roof is closed. It takes around 5 minutes or so. The court being dried by some of the ball crew with the towels along the lines. That tends to be the focus of the umpire's attention when they get down and make sure the court is safe to play. Is playing under a roof change the dynamic of the match at all, do you think?
It's a little louder, and that typically tends to help the person who's more aggressive.
Putting the camera, please, on the net.
Just a couple of meters away from those two gigantic roof sections meeting, and then we'll be good to go pretty quickly. Of course, the lights are already on, so illuminating the courts isn't a problem. 800 tons, those two gliding panels. Magnificent structure here. Great addition to this USTA Billie Jean King National Tennis Centre. Of course, had a few Monday finals, didn't we, for 4 or 5 years. The investment was made, and this is some venue to play and watch tennis in. Seven minutes. Play has been halted for. The court is dry. Maybe not quite dry enough for Monfils. Just a little more attention just behind his baseline. A few splits and spots that they just need to take care of. Don't want to take any risks at this stage of the tournament. Berrettini, remember, just produced a good hold of serve, so he's got his 2-game advantage once more. He's not too far away from a 2-sets-to-1 lead. He's dealt with the extended change of ends earlier in the set. He dealt with the lights coming on. Can he deal with the slightly longer break in play?
I think it's now an 8-minute break, and you asked me the difference that it plays. Well, now we're indoor. You know, we've got the roof on, the panels are down. It's going to be an air-conditioned building, so humidity is now not really going to be a factor. It changes the match dynamic significantly.
Feast just testing the ball toss. Here we go, 2-4.
Love.
We talked about it being louder, so the crowd is going to seem more into it for Monfils.
All. $30-15. All. 40-30. Ladies and gentlemen, in respect for the players, please remain silent during play. Thank you very much.
I think that request came from Berrettini, so he's just struggling to adapt initially. The extra volume.
Deuce.
Of course, you could argue it's tough for Monfils.
Advantage, Monfils.
That 8-minute break.
I think Berrettini's actually lucky he didn't make this drop shot and give Monfils an opportunity to create a highlight point here. That's a great
Deuce.
forehand from Berrettini. That landed so short, so wide.
Advantage, Monfils.
It's a beauty.
Deuce.
Love this angle. You can see how much the ball comes up and down. Great look at the work on that ball.
Here we go then. This is a golden
Advantage,
opportunity
Berrettini.
for Berrettini. It's been a little bit patchy, this service game from Monfils. Three of 9 break points converted so far.
Deuce.
Monfils took the
Advantage,
line so
Berrettini.
quick after that point. Obviously, Berrettini was running coast to coast quite a bit. Ended up rushing himself.
Third of the set. Another chance for Berrettini.
Deuce. Advantage, Berrettini.
Berrettini will be desperate to convert one of these. And this time he
Gael
does.
Berrettini.
He has built a handsome lead
New
in this
balls,
third
please.
set. He will serve at 5-2.
Berrettini leads 5-2, third set. 1 all.
Exactly the kind of forehand he was hoping for. Half court. Plenty of time to prepare. Luxury of the double break, of course, just takes a little bit of anxiety out of the situation.
Time.
Matteo Berrettini then, a game away from really taking control of this US Open quarterfinal. Has the new balls, 5-2 serving.
Berrettini is challenging the call on the left baseline. The ball was called in.
It looked out from here that Berrettini was certainly making that close to not being eligible for an appeal.
Not 15.
Definitely worth a look.
Berrettini has one challenge remaining.
That is a fine call, sir.
Let second service.
It's been perfect behind his first serve in this third set. If he can get that first deal in, 10 out of 10 so far. It's an incredible angle.
15 on.
I was waiting for that to be called wide, but there was so much topspin on.
Again, we get a look at this forehand angle from the opposite view. Look at how much up and down that ball has on it. That's where you'd like to land a first serve, out wide. And that's the way you got to do damage against a great defender.
.30, 15.
Out of 11 now behind that first serve in this third set. 2 points away. It's a nice volley, just taking the pace off.
40, 15.
Two set points. It's another rock-solid game. Berrettini is a set away
6 games
from
to
the
2.
US Open
Berrettini leads by 2 sets to 1.
Italian fans, Taylor Dent, starting to get excited now. This is on.
Well, it certainly is on, and you said it earlier, Monfils was looking tired in between the points. I think you said that in the beginning of the second set, and I'm like, I don't know, but what are the points starting to look like now? Monfils isn't really tracking down the shots that we're normally used to seeing him track down. Like a lot of those winners, 14 that Berrettini hit, Monfils didn't even make a move for that when we normally just see him able to track everything down. And 4 aces for Berrettini, again mentioned. Didn't see him hit that many aces against Rublev. It was 7 for the whole match in 3 sets, and he's almost doubled that. He's got 13 after 3 sets here against Monfils.
Time.
One of those days where it's changing every 5 minutes. You can see the rain coming down. That picture outside the Arthur Ashe Stadium. But looks like the clouds might move away pretty quickly.
Monfils to serve.
However, the roof will stay closed now. That's the ruling. Once it's been closed, we complete the match in these conditions. Monfils has to somehow dig deep here. Try and turn this one around.
Love.
It's rainbow somewhere in the distance. Trying to figure out whether that's in the direction of Manhattan. I don't think it is it? I'm still getting my bearings. Climbed up to the top of the Arthur Ashe Stadium just in the previous match, actually, just to take a peek over the top. That's some view, isn't it?
It's absolutely impressive. The skyline of Manhattan is crazy.
40 love.
Lovely view of the site here as well. The USTA Billie Jean King National Tennis Centre, incredible venue. Facilities for players and fans.
Game on
plenty going on. Of course, midway through the second week of
first
the
game,
events underway. Wheelchair events start tomorrow. Doubles and mixed doubles as well, pretty deep into those draws.
We were talking about Monfils, during the points for a lot of that third set, just unable to keep up with Berrettini's pace. Didn't even go for some of the balls that looked like they were a couple of steps away. Talked about Monfils, playing those kind of cat and mouse games sometimes, but it just looks like it's starting to take a toll in the points, and that's not a good sign for Monfils. We'll have to see how he adjusts his game to deal with that.
Love 15.
It's been a bit of a stop-start season for Monfils because of the injury problems on and off. Withdrew in Auckland. That's a very start of the season due to a right leg injury. Marseille was a wrist injury.
15 all.
He's playing some incredible tennis in Indian Wells on the way to the quarterfinals. Then it was the left ankle completely out of the blue around half an hour before he was due to play Dominic Thiem in the last 8 in California. Forced him out of Miami, Monte Carlo as well. Retired in the first round at Wimbledon, Washington and Montreal after making the semis. It's incredible. It's just looking at the race to London. He's number 11 in the race, despite that list I've just reeled off. Goodness knows what he could achieve if the body held up, allowed him to play a full season. Berrettini, incidentally, 14th in the race to London. Top 8 qualify for the season-ending championships. Wins this match, another 360 points, which would put him around a 9th, 10th position. That's how good his season's been.
14-15.
It's Daniil Medvedev, the latest to qualify yesterday after he beat Wawrinka. So 4 qualified for London, the O2. At the end of the season, Nadal, Djokovic, Federer, Medvedev, 4 spots up for grabs.
Let for service. 40-30. Deuce.
And you see Berrettini point to the backhand corner there. He didn't need to come in on that one, and it was going to be on Monfils' terms. You start to see a slight shift in the dynamics of these points. Berrettini is starting to run a lot more around the court. That serve's been unbelievable. You know, Monfils has had these chances, these half chances, and feels like every time it comes around, Monfils is just unable to get in the point. Berrettini's putting down an ace or an unreturnable.
Gael Berrettini. Monfils is challenging the call on the left far sideline. The ball was called in.
Bit of a late challenge. Berrettini just a quick glance towards his box there, going, what's the deal there?
Berrettini lights it.
Gael Berrettini.
Chase review confirms.
1 game all for set. Monfils has 2 challenges remaining.
So 2 hours 16 on the clock. Berrettini comes through another important service game. He's going to try and stay in the present. It's an old cliche, but so important. Such a big day in the Italian's career.
Don't know about that decision for Berrettini. Again, that's not how he wins most of his matches. That's not how he wins his points, is by taking risk off the backhand.
Love. Gael Monfils.
One of his quicker service games.
Monfils leads 2-1, fourth set.
Edges ahead.
Berrettini by 2-1.
2-1. Berrettini playing catch-up in this fourth set, trailing 2-1, but one serve. Fairly comfortable second and third set for the Italian. Wow.
Love 15.
An injection of emotion from the Frenchman. All of a sudden, he's on his toes. Has he been fooling us all along? And again.
Love 30.
Well, this is interesting. When he played Shapovalov, the Canadian was a set and serving for the second set. And it had been a similar kind of feel to the body language from the Frenchman up until that moment. Came out and was like a man possessed and turned that second set around and took control of the match from there. Similar kind of energy all of a sudden.
Fifteen 30. Fifteen 14.
It's Berrettini just getting affected a touch by the volume Monfils is suddenly creating, and here we go. It becomes a two-way relationship. Signs of life. 2 break points.
Quiet, please. Let first service. Let first service. .33, a smidgen wide.
Monfils with the second serve to get his teeth into.
(30-40).
Second chance for the Frenchman. Berrettini survives.
I mean, another challenge from Berrettini. I tell you what, we were kind of asking, how is Monfils going to turn this energy around? Is he going to play bigger? Is he going to start coming in more? And he just fired up the crowd at his will. And the crowd will be there with him in a moment's notice. They love getting behind somebody with that positive energy. It's going to be brutal if Berrettini gets out of this game for Monfils.
Mighty close to the serve clock there, didn't he? For me, that was down to 0. Chair umpire giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Advantage Monfils.
Definitely looks a little nervy all of a sudden. Third chance for Monfils. Saves another with a big forehand. And is Monfils okay?
Deuce.
Collide with the camera there, maybe. Just catching that right arm.
Advantage
so deep in
Berrettini.
the court.
He's making best friends with the cameraman over there.
Saw him collide with the boards that just sit in front of the line judges earlier in the match.
Deuce.
Still not done.
Advantage Monfils.
To an 8th minute. Will it be 4th time lucky? For the world number 13. Oh, that's too good.
No will.
Deuce.
What a backhand.
I cannot believe the guts of Berrettini on this backhand, taking it early down the line, 89-mile-an-hour winner.
I mean, he couldn't have hit that any sweeter. 4 break points saved in this game. Back to deuce. Monfils hits back. This is turning into a fun 4th game.
Advantage Monfils.
They were clubbing those ground strokes. Incredible depth from the Frenchman. And a 5th chance. Monfils makes his move.
Monfils.
And the New Yorkers come to life.
Monfils leads 3 games to 1.
For Monfils and all this energy. This all started on Monfils' bidding. It was love all this game, and he just hit a forehand winner on the 2nd ball for love 15. That was it. But because he showed some passion, he showed some fight, some emotion, the crowd amplified his energy, and he fed off of that, and it was just back and forth. Unbelievable how Monfils can turn on the energy with 1 shot.
So with the break, 3-1.
Fault.
With the momentum, with the crowd on his side now.
Love 15.
Liam Smith, his Australian coach, on the edge of his seat.
$15 all.
Saying 4 sets beat Monfils? No, 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 no.
Just a different kind
13-15.
of energy coming from the Frenchman now. And a very different challenge for Berrettini, who's, I think, smiling down the other end of the court. Maybe it's a grimace.
Out. 30 all.
Just when it looked like Monfils was going to really take control of this 4th set, swing back the other way, and it's the Italian with a breakpoint chance. He's made it.
Deuce. Advantage, Monfils.
Well, he's certainly upped the aggression as well. Not only the energy, not only the movement, but he has played this game first strike tennis.
Gael Monfils. Monfils leads 4 games to 1, fourth set. Berrettini by 2 sets to 1.
Yet another fascinating twist in this tale. We've had so many, it feels, over the last 2.5 hours. Always wondering whether the Frenchman might just come to life like he has done in the last 10-15 minutes. Berrettini has to deal with not only his opponent's quality but the noise inside this place. Animated he gets, and he's fully engaged. Thrash Stadium buzzing right now. Berrettini work his way back into this fourth set. He trails 4-1.
15 love. Love.
Kind of a strange one for the Monfils fans who are watching back at home, and you're kind of thinking, why has he left it 2.5 hours to do that?
Yeah, that's exactly right. But that's just what you get with Monfils, is that's what makes him exciting to watch, is you don't know what you're going to get when you're going to get it.
Let for service.
I believe he doesn't plan these things out. He doesn't fabricate it. He's just, this is how he is.
Gael Berrettini. It's just what the Italian needed.
Monfils leads 4 games to 2.
Fourth set. A touch.
I think we're seeing a little savviness from Monfils again, really early in the fourth set, to get all that emotion going and to carry that emotional high for the course of basically 2 sets. That's tough to do.
Love 15.
43rd winner today from the Italian. Just his 3rd off that backhand wing, but it was one of the sweeter ones.
15-all.
You see Monfils did not scream "Allez" after that. He's just letting it calm down for a second.
a good point you made, because that's another skill,
30-15.
isn't it? Knowing how often to bring that energy. You can't do that for the next 2 hours.
That's right. You don't want to burn out all your energy.
That's where experience can play a part.
Well, but if these games get, it's not a big deal if Berrettini holds. You know, Monfils is up a break, but this would be a moment for Monfils to ramp up the energy again. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw an alley after a big serve or a good point played.
Just miscues the slice backhand.
40-30.
Once more, as was the case earlier in this match, just starting to double over. There's the serve clock. 25 seconds, remember. It's going to be okay this time.
Deuce.
It's almost like he just checked out at that point, wasn't it?
He was going for the highlight reel.
Advantage,
the return of
Monfils.
serve. And a nice bonus for Monfils. Another quick service point. Do you just start to get the feeling he's using this clock to his favour now? You can see it left-hand side of the screen there, down to 13, 12. It's a nice return.
Deuce. Advantage, Monfils.
Not your textbook footwork, setting up for that sitter forehand.
Points for 5-2.
Gael Monfils.
Seals it with an ace. Again asks for some volume from this New York
Monfils
crowd.
leads 5 games to 2.
And they
Fourth set.
respond. A game away from a
Berrettini by
decider.
2-1. Time.
Yeah, just when we thought Gael Monfils was back to full power, another twist in the tail in the previous game, bent double after the points. Still not quite sure how the Frenchman's feeling. We can confirm he's up 5-2 in this fourth set.
Love.
I'd only expect to see some massive energy output from Monfils if Berrettini donates a couple points and Monfils gets a half chance, half look at the break. Otherwise, it's going to be conservation mode. Get ready for the 5-3 game.
Love.
A little flap at that one.
$40-15. Gael Berrettini, new balls, please.
So the Italian asks the question,
5 games to 3,
job
fourth
through that
set.
service game. Give himself another opportunity. All eyes on Gael Monfils. Serving to force a deciding set.
And this first point, if I'm Berrettini, I just want to get this return in at all costs. New balls. We don't know how aggressive Monfils is going to play these points, if he's going to try and put some energy in or just try and slap.
Let for service. Love.
Sensible first point from the Frenchman.
Love.
I think that was a really good point from Berrettini. Really good point from Berrettini. He didn't need to go for that winner forehand inside in.
He was moving Monfils around nicely, wasn't he? Corner to corner.
$30-15.
Today. A double fault column for the Frenchman.
40-15.
Doesn't look like it's going to make too much difference, though. 2 set points. That'll do it.
Full set, Monfils.
We've got a 1-set
6 games to 3,
shootout
2
on our
sets all.
hands in New York for a place in the last 4.
Take care of those service games.
Time.
Yeah, the Italians serving first. Maybe that will play a part as we get deep into this 5th set. If he can take care of his own deal. Monfils under some scoreboard pressure, maybe 4-3, 5-4, 6-5 kind of territory. We'll see though. It'll be fascinating to see what part the crowd plays now. Helped the Frenchman through that 4th set, how his energy levels hold up.
Final set. Berrettini to serve.
So 5th and final set underway. Which of these 2 players, Berrettini and Monfils, can bring their very best under extreme pressure here in New York? Effectively turns into a 1-set shootout. This, of course, a tiebreak at 6 games apiece. Regular breaker here in New York. All 4 majors slightly different in terms of deciding 5th sets now. Australia introducing the match tiebreak, super tiebreak, whatever you want to call it, first to 10 to decide a fifth set. The French they play on, of course, that's the only major with the long sets now. Wimbledon with the tiebreak at 12 games apiece in the final set. New York at 6 apiece.
14 love.
Should we require a shootout to settle it?
Gael
Nice start.
Berrettini.
Holds with authority.
First game,
That's what it's going to
final
have
set.
to be for Berrettini this set. He's really going to have to look after those service games, because if we remember the 3, 4 times that Berrettini has broken Monfils, it's been Monfils really playing poor games, you know, just littered with unforced errors. You don't want to have to rely on breaking somebody with them playing a bad set or a bad game, especially the way Monfils has been using the energy, his level. He's able to seemingly increase his level when things have been getting tough lately.
Too far away.
Love 15.
It's a really good point. Really good point for Berrettini. Berrettini's asking for a little love as well.
Monfils with a lot more experience at this level goes without saying, of course, 33 years of age. Berrettini 23. It's the Italian's third 5-set contest. Good news is he's won them both.
15-30.
So I have good memories of going the distance. The majors, Wimbledon 2018, he beat Jack Sock in 5 sets. He beat Diego Schwartzman at Wimbledon this year in 5 sets. So 2 out of 2. Monfils has won 16, lost 15 over his career. Big.
Wow. Couple of really good points
15,
for Berrettini.
14.
The first point, he made Monfils scramble and run around the court everywhere, and same thing on this point. And I think they mean more than just 1 point right now. Watching how Monfils is feeling out there with his legs, there is going to be a carryover effect.
The Italians come out flying. He's the first to break in this deciding set.
Berrettini leads 2 games to love. Final set. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, please avoid shouting during play. Thank you. Love 15.
You just see Monfils with the fist pump, nodding his head. He's looking. He's actively looking for an opening, a flashy shot, an entertaining point to use the crowd, to turn the crowd back on.
Love 30.
Could really use a couple of those monster serves of his. Get himself out of trouble. Kept his nerve. Wasn't the easiest volley.
No, that was an incredibly tough volley. Not only the ball that Monfils hit, but the way he came in. He hit that approach shot right down the middle of the court. He had to come up with something very special with Monfils in such a good defensive position.
That's the thing, isn't it? You've got him in the corner of your eye, moving up the court. This kind of speed. Back to 30 all. There we go. Just what he needed. 135 miles an hour.
He's been doing that a ton this match. Faced a lot of big points against him, some scary points. It feels like 80% of the time, 90% of the time, it's just taking that first delivery to get him out of the situation.
Deuce.
He's just slowing things down a touch, forcing the Italian to create his own pace.
Advantage, Monfils.
Good feeling this final set's going to be edgy and nervy. Can Monfils pounce here? Just sacked him, kept things simple, waited for the error, and he was
Berrettini
rewarded.
leads 2 games to 1.
Back
Final
on
set.
serve, 2-1, final set. Back down the hatches there, didn't he? Just sat deep, said, come on then, I'm not going to miss. See what you got.
And Berrettini obliged. I mean, how many mistakes, how many unforced errors did he make that game? And then I think all but one of them was on his forehand.
time.
It's been backwards and forwards throughout. An intriguing 3 hours and 6 minutes so far. Still not a clue who's going to come through this one. Has he made that?
15 love.
Yes, he did.
Berrettini, big approach out, unfortunately, again. Kind of seeing what we saw in the first set, just trying to hit through Monfils the last 2 games.
Just checking. Still not quite sure what happened. A good-natured inquiry from the Frenchman. That was some forehand. Easy to lose track, isn't it? It's such a noisy stadium like this in the heat of the moment. Just got to make sure. Home run. Good catch as well.
13-15.
Just below us. In fact, look who it is. It's Philip Brook, the Wimbledon chairman. Fellow Yorkshireman. Good catch. Play a lot of cricket up in Yorkshire.
Gael Monfils.
I don't think if you're Monfils, you could have asked for a better start to this set. The points have been relatively short, except for
2
a
games
couple.
all, final set.
Berrettini just donating a break of serve back. He hasn't really needed Monfils to wind up the crowd that much. He's saving it.
Just a reminder to head to usopen.org, the official tournament website, for all the information surrounding the final major of the year. You can head to usopenshop.org as well. That's the official shop for 2019 US Open merchandise. Selections of tees, caps, towels, outerwear and collectibles.
love.
That was a quick shot of the president of the FFT, the French Tennis Federation.
Love.
It's been a while since the French had a US Open men's finalist. Cedric Peeling, 1993. You've got to go back to.
Love.
That's a much better forehand. These last two forehands from Berrettini getting a little deeper than what was giving him a bunch of success in the second and third sets, but much wider.
Fault. Game Berrettini.
It's another nice quick game at this stage of this deciding set, having lost serve.
Berrettini leads 3 games to 2. Final
once
set.
more, 3-2. Fueling up with a sit down, that's important as well. Take care of those details as a tennis professional at this stage of a 5-setter, and he hasn't played too many before, remember, just his third. So this is relatively new territory for the Italian. Vital that he tries to stay in the moment, maintain the belief that he can get this done. Try not to think about the prize too much. All about the process over the next half an hour, 45 minutes.
Time.
Monfils serving on serve, 2-3, final set.
Love 15.
Semi-final spot up for grabs here at Flushing Meadows. This is when your game and your temperament is under the microscope. It's a great start to the game for the Italian.
Love 30.
Really impressive stuff from Berrettini. And he's showed a lot of emotion out there as well. He showed a willingness to engage the crowd.
Oh, that's huge. What's a backhand?
Love 40.
I know we've seen Monfils try to come in and keep the points short, which I guess is founded in a good idea, but he just hasn't had a lot of success. It hasn't bothered Berrettini. Coming in at some very, very suspect times. Love 40.
3 chances.
Game Berrettini.
And he breaks for a second time in this deciding set. Will it be enough this time?
Berrettini leads 4 games to 2. Final set.
It is tantalizingly close now for the Italian. I mean, how's that heart rate? 4-2, final set, under the roof.
And I saw it against Rublev, 6-5 in the third set. He got broken there, gave the break. We saw him up a break already this set. And
Violation coaching warning Berrettini.
Well, another
Berrettini
twist.
got a coaching warning.
Your coach was doing fine. I told him before.
Well, he's just got to suck that one up, hasn't he, and just try not to let it phase him. Easier said than done. There's the team. Clearly some sort of message, signal coming his way. That's what the chair umpire feels.
Chair umpire must be mistaken. That doesn't happen out here.
Sense a touch of sarcasm there, Taylor Dent.
Love.
What a freebie from Monfils. Has the Frenchman got anything left?
all.
Yeah, he said this. I think that actually was a good miss. That forehand had a lot of work on it. Barely missed wide.
Let for service.
I feel like there's two really bad misses when you can see somebody tight. It's when the racket head speed slows down or the spin comes off the ball.
Oh, that was rough. Someone
Please.
calling out. Just
Thank
as he
you.
executed the ball toss. It's all happening. Oh, incredible forehand and a little bit of justice done there, I think. And we hope the Frenchman's okay.
13-15.
Giving it everything, trying to track that down.
Incredible athleticism. And this forehand has done so much good for Berrettini. That short angle forehand in the box.
You know it's good when Monfils can't chase it down. Well, at the moment, it's the more experienced Monfils. He's struggling to deal with the enormity of the opportunity. Berrettini just ticking the points off. 2 points for a 5-2 lead.
Let for service. Let for service. Game Berrettini.
He's almost there.
Berrettini leads 5-2. Final set.
Spot. So close now. Just a game. 5-2. Years of age, Taylor. There's been a lot going on in this match, hasn't there, at various stages. How impressed have you been with how he's dealt with the situation so far? Not quite there, of course, but he's got 1 foot in the semis now.
Well, that's exactly right. The most fun games to watch for me are the games where a player has to serve for the match. So I'm hoping that we get a deep look inside Berrettini's soul at 5-3 in this final set. He showed a little bit of nerves up a break in this 5th set, played a really rough game, but it's kind of like the Rublev match. He was able to right the ship, get back on track, and really bring it together. And I tell you what, there are distractions galore happening out here in this match. The crowd, you know, Monfils firing everything up, the energy, the bigness of the situation. I mean, he's playing for a semi, and he's handled it so well, so well.
Love.
And surely, for Gael Monfils, you're doing everything in your powers just to get this game done and dusted, and reminding yourself that Matteo Berrettini has never been in this situation before. Let's see what he's made of.
30 love.
See whether all that work with the sports psychologist is going to pay off.
Love. Gael Monfils. New balls, please.
And new balls. I always found that
Berrettini leads
serving
5-3. Final set.
was either really good or really bad, because obviously the fluff, the nap on the ball isn't as exposed, so it doesn't take the spin sometimes quite as well. They fly through the air a little bit faster, right? And that's when you're feeling good and confident. It's a good thing. But if you're a little tight and that ball flies on you, double faults come.
Here we go then. It's showtime.
Thank you.
For Matteo Berrettini, the 23-year-old from Rome, serving for a place in the US Open semi-finals.
Love.
That is huge, isn't it? That first point. All of a sudden, that finish line just feels a little bit closer.
Please.
That wasn't the most convincing of backhands.
It was the right play, but he backed off it a lot, didn't he? Again, that looks like a bad miss, is when it slows down. The racket head speed slows down so much.
It's a big serve, 132 miles an hour. He's getting closer. His friend and restaurant owner in Manhattan on the right-hand side of that picture can barely look. No way, went for the serve volley, got the volley he was looking for.
I cannot believe he decided to pull out the serve and volley at this stage in the match. That's another telltale sign you're feeling it.
Well, interesting. I was just thinking, if I was Gael Monfils right now, it's exactly what I'd be doing.
Thank you.
Just asking for a bit more volume. Ramp up the pressure. Oh, that's rock solid. What an overhead in the circumstances.
40-30.
Incredibly tough from Berrettini.
3 hours and 27 minutes, full of twists and turns.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
The
Thank
Italian with match points.
Deuce.
Well, in between those two serves, Taylor, you turned to me and you were signalling as if we might get a double fault there, and you called it.
It did, you know, just seen him in this position once before, and it's just not convincing, but he did recover very well.
Incredible. What a forehand.
Advantage, Monfils.
Well, we've seen winners from Berrettini at 104 off the forehand. That one was 93 from Monfils.
What on earth is Selena Svitolina thinking? Court side. Break point for the Frenchman.
Please.
And he breaks. And Monfils is back in business. The team on their feet.
Berrettini leads 5 games to 4.
Can Berrettini recover? 5-4, final set. What a game. I mean, we sensed it with the backhand, didn't we, early in the game?
Well, count him up. It was that backhand. It did not look good. He looked like he was hesitant. The serve and volley, you know, just the kicker out wide, here I come. That looked rough. The double fault looked rough. That forehand, again, routine forehand, middle of the net. How many good points did Monfils have to play to win that game? He played the one good point where he ripped that forehand winner across court. That's a lot of points to give away and to try and hold.
He has talked over the last few days about how he's responded, how he's dealt with adversity. Matteo Berrettini, well, there's no greater test now. Match point for the semis of the US Open, and he's thrown in a double fault. If he recovers from this, then
time.
Too good.
Thank you.
Deafening inside the Arthur Ashe Stadium. 4-5, final set.
15
Of
love.
course, all the pressure now. Monfils is back in this all of a sudden. The dream for the Frenchman's back on. He still has to hold here. It's just missed.
13 love.
And when Monfils has played solid games, Berrettini hasn't really had a chance to break. It's had to be Monfils serving and falling, Monfils spraying the ball around the court.
Yeah, gives this game a slightly different look. A big point here. If you're Berrettini, the pressure's right back on Monfils.
Well, how nice is it to serve first, like you said earlier in the set?
It's incredible how quickly the pressure can switch ends at this stage of a big match.
14-15.
Routine backhand in the bottom of the net.
I was going to say, you got to make that at least halfway up the net.
Tie-break at 6-all, remember, should we require one.
$40-30. Gael Monfils
completes the recovery from 2-5.
5 games on, final set.
Saved along the way. 2 sets apiece, 5 games apiece. Once more, a fantastic example of the drama of the 5-set format. Grand Slam tennis. And there's so much on the line.
Love 15.
Oh, what a dig. There's the speed, the athleticism, and the emotion.
Love 13.
How's that execution on the move?
Thank you.
He's going to need some more of those to get out of this game. This is the game. This is the game that Monfils lives for. High energy, everything at stake.
all.
What a fantastic effort to recover from love 30 after everything that's happened in the last 10 minutes.
Gael Berrettini.
And he holds 4 points in a row under pressure. And Monfils will serve
Berrettini
to
leads
stay in
6
this
games to
once
5.
more.
Final
6-5. Well, that was gutsy from the young Roman. Everything going against him at that stage. The net cord that worked in Monfils' favour. Second point of the game, down love 30. Frenchman having won 3 games in a row. The double fault on match point, but he dug deep. That said an awful lot about his character. And now we'll see how the Frenchman It's been a fantastic occasion.
Time.
This third men's quarterfinal here in New York. Getting on for the 4-hour mark now. 6-5 in the final set. Berrettini is thrown away a match point. Serving at 5-3. He's got to put that to the back of his mind now. He's given himself another chance here. And it will be fascinating to see how Monfils deals with the pressure of serving to stay in this. For a third time, remember he served at 2-5. He served at 4-5. Now 5-6.
15 love.
And of course, at the very least, Berrettini's guaranteed himself a breaker. Monfils does come through this game.
Love. 30-15.
Well, you're serving 30 love. It might look like you're in a comfortable position, but 30-15 will be a different kind of feeling for Monfils.
Led for service.
What a lob. Unbelievable time for that lob. Yeah, I saw him do a very similar lob against Rublev in the last match.
And completely bamboozled Monfils. All of a sudden, just 2 points away now.
A
13th double fault. There's Monfils crumbling. Brings up a second match point for Berrettini.
Deuce.
Well, that disappeared in a flash. Found the all-important first serve. Not sure he would have fancied a second serve after 13 double faults today.
Advantage Monfils. Deuce.
It's the Frenchman's turn to feel the pressure, no doubt about it. Second double fault of the game, 14 for the match.
And nobody's immune. Monfils has been in this position. This is his 32nd time in a fifth set match like this.
Yes.
No way. It's another.
Advantage Berrettini.
He went for the big one. It's a third match point for the Italian. Where's the heart rate on this second serve? Monfils survives again. The nerviest, edgiest points. I mean, the tension in this place is almost unbearable.
I feel like the first 4 or 5 shots of that rally, nobody hit a ball clean.
Thank you.
Back comes Monfils.
Advantage Monfils.
Again, trying to feed off the crowd. Use that energy.
please. Gael
What a game.
Monfils.
The most remarkable service game. 3 double faults and somehow
6 games all, final set.
he's survived.
Tie break.
3 match points saved now.
Each
Gael
player
Monfils
receives 1 additional challenge.
must be starting to think it's his day.
I'll tell you what, this is exactly the same match that Berrettini had with
Ladies and
Rublev.
gentlemen, we kindly ask you to remain silent during play. Thank you.
Well, good luck with that. We're in New York. It's a 5th set breaker. It's the quarterfinals.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
It's all on the line. And for these two, it's now or never. A shootout to settle it. That's a great start. Good composure.
1-0.
I mean, it's going to take the most incredible
Berrettini.
mental effort from Berrettini, you would imagine, to put those 3 match points behind him. Will it be
2-0.
the double faults
Berrettini.
that ultimately cost Monfils another one, a 16th today?
Let. First service. Two, 1. Berrettini. Three, 1. Berrettini.
Well, those big serves are like gold dust right now, aren't they? I mean, he'd give a decent chunk of his prize money, you would imagine, just for 4 or 5 more of those.
Left. First service.
Considerable prize money, by the way. Semi-finalist, you're walking away with a minimum of $960,000.
Left. First service.
What about the check today? That was close.
Berrettini is challenging the call on the left far sideline. The ball was called out.
Thinks it's wide. Monfils thinks it's wide. Berrettini thinks it's worth investigating. The chase review will settle it, and it's caught the edge.
4-1.
Unbelievable.
Berrettini.
Well, we say these matches are settled by fine margins. Can't get much finer than that. And it's given Berrettini a healthy lead now.
Well,
that's a start, isn't it? You've got to win that point if you're Monfils. Switching hands 5-1, 4-2. Huge psychological difference. 5-1, Berrettini's thinking we're looking good. 4-2,
No, you got work left at 4-2. No doubt about it. Even at 5-1, the way this match has gone, there'd still be work left.
It's been crazy, hasn't it? We've had everything. The atmosphere intensified with the closure of the roof midway through. Gael Monfils once more find a way back into this. 2-4. You are kidding me. 17.
Berrettini.
3 in the previous service game, 2 in the breaker.
Zverev's looking at this serve and going, I'm not the only one.
Two, 2 points away. 2 service points to come for the Italian. Oh, magic from the Frenchman.
5-3. Berrettini.
Gives him hope. Sensible from Monfils. Didn't go for too much with the forehand.
5-4.
And it's game on once more.
Berrettini.
I mean, Berrettini must be thinking, come on, when are you going to roll over?
I want to know what Svitolina's thinking. She's got to be exhausted watching this match.
She's got to come out and play semi-final tomorrow.
Thank you.
Back on serve. Oh, well played, Matteo Berrettini. Ice cool under pressure. He did not blink.
I think that was one of his best points of the match. Monfils was tracking everything down. How cool was Berrettini?
Three match points the Italian has seen come and go. 2 more now. The first on Monfils' serve. He's got security of at least 1 on his own deal.
Already, thank you.
Got to get a first serve if you're Monfils here.
Match point number 4.
Berrettini is challenging the call on the left service line. The ball was called in.
Is it a 10th ace of the match for Gael Monfils? It is. He saves the 4th match point.
Berrettini. Berrettini has 3 challenges remaining.
So another chance for Berrettini. Does he go big with this serve? Does he roll it in?
He's been going T a lot on big serves. On big points, sorry, on this ad side.
A 5th match point. This time,
Game, set a match,
it's job
Berrettini.
done for Matteo Berrettini. The most
3 sets to 2.
incredible conclusion
3-6, 6-3,
to the most
6-2,
dramatic
3-6,
quarterfinal.
7-6.
And the Italian can call himself a US Open semi-finalist. Quite incredible drama inside Arthur Ashe Stadium, and it's the Italian who comes through in a 5th set tiebreak for the biggest win of his career.
Look at the emotion from Berrettini. So good to see it. That was one of the most exciting finishes to a match that I've seen in quite some time. Both guys showing their nerves, showing their human side of it, and